What does it really mean to create success on your own terms? And what does authenticity in business in this Instagram, TikTok, Clubhouse world, video, audio world really mean for your business? Well, tonight on this episode with Amber Frelin, special guest, will share her cutting edge marketing system to tap into the real meaning of your authenticity for your brick and mortar business. Yes. We'll be right back real soon with that.
Welcome to Entrepreneurship is a Marathon, a podcast about how you can grow a profit-producing, purpose-driven business without burnout. We don't need more people starting businesses. We need more people continuing. Each week, we'll deliver the latest and greatest tips, tricks, and strategies for you to revive, grow, and scale your business. Now, here's your host, consultant, professor, and the business defibrillator, Vanessa Zammy.
And I am joined with our special guest here, Amber Frelin. If you're not experiencing the success that you want in your business, could it be because you're not really being authentic? Well, let's see. We're going to find out here tonight. But a question that I have for Amber, that I'm sure you have too. You probably read her bio. I'm going to read her bio a little bit later. How does healing relate to marketing and sales?
Oh, are you asking me already?
Yeah.
Yes. The short answer is all the limiting beliefs that we carry from our childhood and earlier on in our life that drives the decisions that we make, usually based on the feelings that we have. So what I'm saying is deep mindset stuff can drive our decisions and then therefore drive the outcome that we see in our lives and in our business.
We're going to talk more about that, folks. I know some of you likely knew. Before we get to nitty gritty of all of that she just said, as always in every episode, we always go into what's been your win of the week. What has been your win of the week? So if you are watching, joining us live, or even if you're watching a replay, if you're watching us on YouTube, scroll to the bottom, hit that red subscribe button, keep scrolling, and share with us what has been your win of the week. The last 7 days, what has been something, it could be personal win, it could be a business win, but what has been a win of the week? And let's celebrate with you. Okay. If you're watching on LinkedIn or Facebook, then comment on the right side of your screen. Well, first, a reaction. Comment on the right side of the screen. What has been your win of the week? So, Amber, what's been your win of the week?
Mine's pretty big, and I wasn't expecting to have this opportunity to share it, but I've had some unexpected financial wins this week, and the key term there is unexpected, because I've really been working on deep inner healing work, which we'll talk about. I've been wanting for a long time to crack the code that we see in a lot of female entrepreneurs, where everything just looks so easy. You know, those women that you see in this businesses in general, and you're like, how is it so easy? Because I want that. And I've been feeling like it's not so easy. So I focused on healing that and going deep and working with energy and belief and really just becoming a magnet to what I desire. And I really legitimately finally feel like I cracked the code after all these years. And so some unexpected financial wins are definitely a good win for the week.
That's awesome. Don't you just love it? I've been working on this whole money mindset abundance thing for like 2 years or so. At least 2 years from the time that we're like recording this right now. But yes, and just love it. It's great. It's great. It's awesome. Fantastic. Celebration. Yay. So what has been your win of the week if you are listening or re-listening, or even if you're listening on the podcast, whether you're on your drive behind the steering wheel and you're at a red light, just think to yourself, what are you celebrating, right? What has made you smile this past 7 days? My win is that we had 4 interns join us this week with our company team. Yes, we do a partnership with the New York State government. And so these are interns of underrepresented backgrounds, now getting professional opportunities. I know back when I was living in Boston while in high school, my first job, I was 14 years of age. I had absolutely no idea what I didn't even know entrepreneurship was even a word in the dictionary. Okay. And here they are knowing a whole lot more. But with that being said, they're going to be supporting us. They're just eager to learn. It's great. You know, that's enough eagerness to learn. Just gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yes. But with those listening, though, what has been your win of the week? Feel free to share with us, even if you're watching a replay. I know a lot of you do watch a replay, so I want to see those comments. Yes. With that being said, Let me formally introduce our guest, Amber Frelin. So
Mm.
Amber Frelin uses different forms of manifestation, subconscious reprogramming, and other healing modalities to set the foundation of her unique and cutting-edge marketing systems and strategies. An intuitive business coach and certified master quantum healer, Amber teaches her clients a unique energetic balance of feminine magnetism and masculine power in marketing and sales. Oh, I know a lot about that masculine, feminine. I've actually been working on that this year. Funny enough.
Yes.
And putting that together because I've had a lot of masculine energy in my life, which has been great,
Me
which is
too.
awesome. Love it. And then early this year, I was like, oh, snaps. There's this voice in my head yelling at me about this feminine energy. So I got this relationship coach. I started pole dancing, been posting about that. So that was like real fun. But that's beside that point. Not about me. It's about you. So, Amber.
I love it.
How would you define authenticity? Let's just get like with the same terminology here, folks. How would you define authentic marketing?
Yeah. So I think that I think I might have a different angle of this convo, which I hopefully is really helpful for people, because I think a lot of people approach authenticity in business for an outcome, or think that maybe there's like layers to get down through and like be the real you and stuff and then get a better result. I think that's the typical view. And for me, it's been, let me maximize my marketing by doing what I love most and then building other things off of it. So let me give you a real concrete example. And then everyone listening with all different businesses, you can kind of figure out how this fits into your world. But for me, I help a lot of coaches, for instance, and people online, and everyone markets online, regardless of business type. So for me, I realized I love doing long form video, right? Short form video is super hot right now, and that's great. But I really love long form video. I really love speaking. I really love connecting with people like this. And so it was really smart for me to start with that, because that can then be repurposed into shorter form video, for instance, or content for social media or email content. But it's easier for me to just talk first. And that said, there's a lot of people who might be the opposite of that. There's a lot of people that really need to like turn off all distractions and just sit and write, and they might hate video, for instance. But for me, I found that myself and all my clients, when we start with what we love most, then we just get a vastly much better result. So that's how I see the power of authenticity in business.
I love it. I love that you mentioned that. Yes. Because for me, I do the same thing with long form. As you see here, this episode is about the 20-25 minutes. And one of the interns will be working on repurposing this episode. That is one of their tasks. Or even just all my other episodes. This is episode 445 of this live show. So there's a lot of content, really only the last 100 really relate, because, you go in business, you do stuff, and you know. But point being that ultimately really excited about that. And I know we had some people share their wins. One person said, my win of the week is studying a new language every day this week, right? If you're listening and you're a business owner, you've done that, right? It's not necessarily a business win. It's a personal win. That's great. And I think part of what Amber's saying is post that, be authentic, share out with the world, right? Someone else said, my win is I've learned how to cook new recipes.
That's cool.
Awesome. Great. Fantastic, folks. Fantastic. So continuing with this topic, authenticity. Can you tell if someone is or is not being authentic in their marketing? Sales is a little obvious. I feel like with sales, I can feel the energy of like, you're not being a little authentic. Right. And I can feel the energy when I'm being authentic, back when I was beginning in business a couple of years ago. And so that's when I then was like, okay, what's authentic to me? And then like all that jazz. But sales, but marketing, can you tell?
I can tell.
So, how?
Oh man, now we're getting into the energy, because I think it's a feeling, honestly. I mean, could I read through someone's post and try to determine whether or not they're telling the truth or blowing things out of proportion, or whether they're like hiding something really important? I don't know. I think it's mostly a feeling. And I think with this day and age, with social media, that it's really important, because I mean, I would be willing to bet everyone listening says they could tell if someone's being authentic or not. And I think it's like so important these days, because we market kind of like we're like in the public eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, plus true. I'd much rather just, not have to censor myself, like as far as like bad words or anything, but I'd rather just like tell the truth from my heart and not worry about it, because that's so much easier way to live in the first place.
Be you, be you. So I'm curious though, audience, can you tell if someone is not? Let us know if you're watching us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, whether you're watching a replay or not. Give us a positive emoji if you're like, yes, I could tell when someone's being inauthentic because I'm just that great at it. Okay. Or if you're just like, I just think everyone's being authentic. Maybe you can't tell. That's totally fine too. So let us know. Can you tell yes or no if someone's being authentic or inauthentic in their marketing? Let us know in the comments. I'm curious. Can you tell? And so something that you mentioned that I wasn't going to ask you anyway, so I'm so glad you mentioned it, right? This whole thing about video, because man, now you're hearing about audio is a new thing, right? Audio is like popping up. Before we get into that question of video versus audio, we're going to take a quick little break, folks. Okay. And if you have questions for Amber, feel free to type it in the comments and we will address that. We'll be right back.
If you're a storefront business owner, salon owner, or brick-and-mortar shop owner, including a cafe, home decor, furniture, or clothing boutique, then listen up. We have some incredible discounted workshops at vzammy.com for our podcast listeners to help you increase your sales by 50%. If you are looking for more tips on reviving your business, make sure to visit our website, vzammy.com. That's vzamy.com. To register for our upcoming business growth workshop on staff management, financial management, and time management. It's your time to revive, grow, and scale your shop so you can go on that vacation and still have your shop thriving. Visit vzammy.com. That's V for Vanessa, Z for zebra, A for animal, M for money, Y as in yes.com. Visit vzammy.com for more details.
Yes, visit vzammy.com for more details about the upcoming leadership workshop that we have at the end of the month. But aside from that, yes, we are here with Amber Frelin on authentic marketing. What does it really mean? Yes. And we actually, during this quick break, see, that's why I have a break. It gives you time to type, because we had someone share with us saying that authenticity and being real sells, right? Andrew said most people who come off as fake are simply afraid to be themselves. It feels scary being exposed as your true self. And it does feel scary, but it's important. It is important. Yes, Amber.
I love that, Andrew. Yeah, it's important to connect to the people that you're truly meant to serve,
It is indeed. It is indeed, right? And the only way for you to do that is by being authentic, right? Being yourself. I remember, so I'm also a professor of entrepreneurship. This reminds me of something I told the class today we're talking about PR, public relations, all that jazz. And I tell them this all the time about marketing. But ultimately, a key point I mentioned today was that, it's like you might think that it's only really bad PR if it's a PR you don't want, right? And so it's like one person, I think there was apparently some donut shop person who threw some water on some homeless person. And one of this fans going around. And ultimately, though, right, the comment was that, you know what? There's going to be some people who agree with that. There are going to be people who don't, and so, but they were being authentic selves, and that's just that's what their brand stands for.
Right.
And hey, they're still going to get customers. They're going to get customers,
They're going to get attention that way for sure.
As well, too. And so, but the thing is, being who you are and how you are. So before the break, though, we went into this question about video versus audio and all that jazz.
Yep.
What say you, Amber? What say you?
I heard something recently that said that your audience consumes content the way that you do, or that maybe they could. And I thought that was really cool, because that's definitely true for me. I mean, I watch long form video. So just what I just said, I hang out on YouTube. I love YouTube. And so, whether or not that's true, I do think there's some power and brilliance behind repurposing in different formats for the way that people learn to really serve more people. I do think that's smart. But if you're absolutely going to hate it, and then, your vibration drops and you're not as excited to show up in your business. If I had to write a blog every day, I probably wouldn't like that. But there's a lot of people that do. So like, I'm not going to write a blog, and it's okay. Maybe I'll lose some customers, no problem. But someday if I want to, I could delegate that out, and that would be amazing. But I think it's interesting to consider the way that people for everyone to ask themselves, do you enjoy consuming the way that you are marketing? You know, I mean, think about like putting flyers on cars and stuff like that. Like there's so many million ways to market. Do you like that? If you like that and that's your strategy, cool. But if you are out putting flyers on cars and you absolutely hate when it happens to you, then maybe you just need to sit with yourself and feel what's authentic to you, right?
Yeah.
Just for an example.
And I love that because pretty much all that you just said was related to authentic marketing, right? It goes back to thinking about not only how do you consume content, right? But how do you prefer to be marketed to, and let that be your starting point, right? Especially if now we have a lot of, people who are listening who have existing businesses. They've been in business for 10 plus years. They may have an office, store, salon, or shop. Everyone's telling them to go online, and like there's some validity to that, of course. But then understanding, right, like at least for my clients, they can hire that out. So they don't like to go online, but they have someone else. So they hire someone else to do the social media for them, right?
Definitely.
And so it's like, if you feel like there is something necessary in your business and you like really believe in it, you're like, yes, I don't like doing it, but I do still want to do it. Then, hey, have someone else put those flyers in those cars. Okay.
Yes,
like
definitely.
Don't do it yourself,
Yeah. And this is really cool that you said that, because hire someone that you can really be authentic with. Right. So for instance, our funnel guy, I can tell him everything I want to tell him everything. I can talk to him, right? I can be authentic with him. So if I've delegated something out, it's really important that whoever you hire for these things, you can really talk to and they understand who you are, so that they can capture your personality if they're going to be responsible for doing your marketing.
That is so important. Oh my goodness. So important. Yes. Love it. Oh, we're having such a great conversation. Okay. So let's get to the quantum healing aspect of this. I guess. Right.
Yes.
So what is the system? If you
want to share a little bit of really deep stuff. Okay. So my husband and I, we build systems for entrepreneurs, by the way. So we build tech systems. And the reason I bring that up is I want you to know that what we do is grounded in like tangible reality, but it's going to sound a little woo for a second. We work with the subconscious mind. So when we're children, and as last week and all the time prior to now, we have formed beliefs about things that have happened in our lives. And a lot of times this happens to be traumatic experiences from childhood, which don't have to be crazy traumas, but something that your mom said in a certain way, or something that happened in school, or an embarrassing moment when you were in second grade, or something like that. Those things are ingrained in our body, in our subconscious mind. And when we carry those things through to adulthood and we become entrepreneurs, those things that reside inside of us actually influence the decisions that we make. They influence the level of motivation that we have. They influence our beliefs around our own worthiness and whether we deserve to become successful. And a lot of beliefs are around other people's judgments of money, right? So everyone knows that they've been influenced by other people's opinions of money as they were being raised as a younger person. And so what we do is we use a technology, subconscious reprogramming, and we use something called muscle testing or applied kinesiology that a lot of chiropractors use. I know it's big, weird words, I know, but I have an example for anyone listening that's kind of intrigued by this, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. We use some tools that naturopaths and chiropractors use to find these belief systems, and then we use an energy healing modality to actually shift those subconscious beliefs. And so what happens is that people who are having trouble making enough money or just working too hard, like I said at the very beginning, and they just want things to be easier, they want to find solutions to things, but they've tried everything in the tangible outside reality. They've tried affirmations or law of attraction work. Once we get down to the subconscious, what we find is pretty miraculous results. And even though we build tech systems and marketing funnels and everything for clients, when I interview them at their graduation with oftentimes pretty big financial results, they always say that it came down to the energy work that we did that allowed them to finally get into alignment so that all of the marketing systems could actually work.
It's fascinating because ultimately it's like we always say, right, in business that it's only 20% strategy, 80% mindset. right? And so a lot of business owners are saying to themselves, I just need to know the right strategy, the perfect thing. There's something that's not hitting. It doesn't matter whether you're a day in business or a decade in business. I hear the same thing. Oh my God, I just need to get the right thing. And sometimes ultimately what it comes down to is the energy around it. Like one of my clients is experiencing all this stuff coming to her, and she's just like, I don't get it. Now people are coming to me with sales. I'm like, because you shifted the energy around you.
Exactly.
Okay. Like it sounds so simple and yet also so unbelievable. And yet it's so real.
It is so real. It's so fascinating to me. It just absolutely blows my mind, you know, and because we know this stuff. Something clicks when you really begin to believe. You can access another layer of belief and expectation around the results that you desire. And everything really does become so much easier. I'm living proof because I had a terrible relationship with money for so many years. And up until very recently, I was working to change that and really, really committed to changing that. And I finally surrendered into it. And that's when everything started to change.
What would you say is for someone who maybe has not done this work so some of my clients, we go through a whole test thing. I go through that with them, but there may be someone listening here who is like, okay, how do I begin?
Yeah.
Like is there like a first question? Like one question that that you recommend that they ask themselves?
Well, yeah. Two things. First, I have an example of this work on my website, which I know you'll be dropping. So if anyone wants to check it out, it's at the very bottom of my site. And this will show you how that energy work works. But aside from that, what helped me so much, then talk about sounding simple, was choosing a new thought in the moment. And I had to do it like all day long for like days on end. But I finally started to catch myself, and I would just be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the things that are flowing through my mind when I'm not paying attention. Like, I don't really want to be creating that. And I started thinking with the thought I just had, the negative money thought or the frustration or whatever it was, if the thing that just came out of or in my mind or out of my mouth, if that manifested right here, right now, would I be happy? No, I should not. This is not good that these things are running through my head. And so I literally just decided to start observing that. And then in every moment when I caught myself, I just chose what I actually want instead. And, you know, like I said, it sounds like the simplest thing ever, but the problem is most people don't pay attention. So they don't catch it and they don't replace it. And then it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. But when you do that, it's actually really simple to choose a new thought. Okay. That thing is not what I want. Here's what I want. Okay. 5 minutes later, nope, we're going here. And an hour later, nope, over here. And a couple days later, you're not doing it anymore. It's like training a dog. You know what I mean? You're just training yourself. It's just training. You're going to start thinking over here. You can't not. You have to.
But the first step is listening to yourself, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like you got to listen to yourself, assess yourself.
Yep.
And then also at the same time, there's a level of commanding what it is that you want, right? Such that you think about that opposite thought and you like accept that opposite thought. And the thing is that you may not accept the opposite thought at first, right? But as I mentioned, I've been doing this money mindset stuff for 2 years for myself, and it still continues.
Yeah.
I probably will still be doing this money stuff for 20, 15, 30 years or so, because every new money level, new thoughts just show up. They just show up. And you're just like, oh my God. Right. But ultimately, it's the first step is listening to yourself, being aware of those thoughts, right? And then what Amber mentioned was then putting in the opposite of that thought, right? And when you first do it, though, I'm giving you guys a warning. When you first do it, you're not going to believe that opposite thought. But that's the idea of what Amber said, that you do it continually. You do it consistently.
Yeah.
And you will start to believe that opposite thought. And that old thought will no longer really show up. Right? Or even if someone comes at you and tells you that opposite thought, and it's no longer with you, you'll have something else to say. And think of it, I was making analogous to like even people who are in business 15 years, people in business for a day. They can relate to this analogy where think about that moment where you told that family member you wanted to go into business and they said no, right? Like they didn't believe you, right? But you did it anyways.
Yeah.
Because you told yourself something different.
That's right.
It's that same process. But the thing about it is that That's like, it's like the first step, but then I know it's even because it's, we talk about, right, Amber, that long word that Amber said, the most key important word was the word subconscious. There are things in your subconscious as well too that are also impacting you, right? And it takes, you know, either being with the right, like for example, when I find out that my clients are going through that, depending on the level, I'm like, I'm not the expert in that. So I will send them 3 references. I'm like, here are ABC person, choose the one that works for you.
Yes.
And get the help that you need while we still do the business coaching and we work in tandem. And it's a beautiful synergy to help them in getting that subconscious support that they need. But sometimes the subconscious goes deep, like they'll go deep into things that they didn't even realize they had, right? And it's a whole tearful session, but it's a beautiful session because then they accept that there's more help to be done. And it's great. But that being said, right, it's, if you are looking for a subconscious resource, by all means, I've interviewed Amber. I like her. I appreciate her vibe. So I will say I support. For right now, we'll see what happens. But
yes, that's
if she starts throwing water at homeless people, I don't know if I'm gonna keep on that endorsement. You know,
I'll keep it to myself.
Yes, love it. Fantastic. So we are coming up on time now, but it was a pleasure. So Amber, how can people reach you? I know I have the website here, amberfrelin.com. That's Frelin, FRELIN.com. How else can people reach you if they want to get connected?
Yes, on Facebook. I've been on Facebook for many years, and on Instagram as well.
Love it. You know, you were the first person besides myself to say Facebook, I must say. On my show.
Yeah.
I'm like,
started back in the day.
Yes. So yes, I do Facebook and LinkedIn. You know, people just don't get it, but that's okay. But with that being said, thank you for being a guest on our show, Amber. If you didn't already tell, for those who are watching us, this show is not only about a story behind the entrepreneur, but also lessons and action items to keep you moving forward in growing and scaling your business. We equip and empower you through education here on Entrepreneurship is a Marathon. Okay. And if you're saying to yourself, Amber, I want to work with you in my subconscious, by all means, hit her up at amberfrelin.com. If you're saying to yourself, Vanessa, I want you on my team as my strategic business advisor, then by all means, feel free to hit me up. You know how to reach me. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on vanessazami.com. With that being said, we have more experts joining us for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to share the information. And we have Jay Massey on cash flow, rentals, and real estate investing. I know a lot of my clients, you guys have some real estate portfolios as well too, in addition to your business. We're going into that. We have Kirsten Williamson joining us from the UK on building up unshakable confidence. We have Natasha Livingston on relationships and how to leverage that as a new currency in your business as a marketing platform as well too. And we have even more guests. If you know someone else who should be invited, by all means, let me know. But with that being said, stay tuned every Tuesday live at 9 p.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Yes, we do. We'll also still be here during the holidays too. And point being, just stay tuned. That's all. Stay tuned. If you have a question, feel free to email me or message me. Or if you have a question for Amber, hit her up on Amber Frelin. That's 1EFRE1ELIN.com. With that being said, have a lovely rest of the evening, folks. Entrepreneurship is a marathon, but it's a marathon that you don't have to run alone.
Nice.
Toodles.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for joining us this week on Entrepreneurship is a Marathon. If you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes or Spotify, or if you'd simply tell a friend about this episode. And if you are looking for more tips on reviving your business, make sure to visit our website, vzamy.com. That's VZAMY.com. To register for our upcoming business growth workshop on staff management, financial management, and time management. It's your time to revive, grow, and scale. Visit vzamy.com. That's V for Vanessa, Z for zebra, A for animal, M as in money, Y as in yes.com. Visit vzamy.com for more details.